everyone. Welcome back to the AIS Podcast, The Glass Blueprint, where we talk about the evolution of glass and windows in architecture, modern living, and so much more. I'm your host, Khushi Sharma, and joining me today is an industry expert, Mr. Naveen Karki, the business head at AIS Windows, a division of Asahi India Glass Limited. We'll be walking through the evolution of glass and windows from having its old world elegance into smart, cutting edge functionality. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you for having me here, Kushi.
So let's dive right in. When we talk about Windows, how do you think it has evolved over the decades? And how do you think that has shaped the way we view them and use them?
Hmm. So, over the decades, the lifestyle has changed, and so have customer pain points. Back in 1970s, or probably much earlier than that, windows were responsible for bringing in light and air, and that is still the case. But that is the starting point today. We have evolved to consider energy efficiency, noise control, security, maintenance, and even automation. So, what was once a basic requirement has now transformed into a layered expectation driven by changing urban realities and aspirations.
So, sir, you mentioned about changing urban realities. How do you think we have adapted to these needs in order for the product to remain relevant in today's time?
So all product evolved by itself organically. But to weigh the outcome, we have a model called need, want, and desire. So in the doors window context, what is need? So you want a window which you can open and close, and it keeps you secure from the external environment. Then what is want? You want to do it conveniently. You may want a finger touch operation. And what is desire? Now you're looking for something very large windows, panoramic view, automation. So that sums up desire. Understanding this hierarchy helps customer, manufacturer, and influencer to navigate product choices more meaningfully.
So, I never knew that so many things can be done from Windows. Now that we're talking about customized designs and aesthetic appeal, it's interesting to note how Indian homes are still choosing wooden windows and doors. So, what keeps wood so popular?
I assume the answer lies in 3L. Legacy, people love wood. Lack of awareness, they are not aware about any alternative material. And lack of availability, even if they are aware, they are finding difficult to find the material. Also, people associate wood with tradition and assume it's superior without realizing the downside of it. You must have realized that during monsoon you find difficult to open and close your wooden doors and windows. Why that happens? Because that is the inherent property of wood. It absorbs moisture, does it swells, warps, and also needs constant repainting, especially in country like India. Once people experience modern alternatives, the mindset starts to shift, and their system windows play a key role.
So, you spoke about system windows. Can you elaborate more on that?
Sure. So, system windows, it is a approach. It is a holistic approach towards window design, where every components are engineered to work together as a single cohesive unit. And interestingly, this is not only limited to product design. This also encompasses production technology, how the windows are going to be manufactured, and installation methodology and sequencing, how it is you are going to install it. Because installation is the last milestone, and unless you do it correctly, your window is not going to perform correctly. So I'll say system windows are pre-engineered to perform. System window has made factory fabrication possible against earlier method of site fabrication. You must be remembering that earlier when we used to make doors and windows, a carpenter used to come home, they would have spent probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and everybody was bothered about it. In this era of system windows, everything gets manufactured at factory and fitted at your home within 1 or 2 days, depending on what size it is. I'll give you an easier example to understand. Branded computer versus assembled computer. System windows are like branded computer, where each component are engineered to perform together by a single company who also is responsible for testing the system. And finally, you get a reliable product with a single warranty.
That was a wonderful analogy, sir. And I'm sure viewers will now have a better understanding of what system windows are. Now, talking about the different alternatives for the materials, can you elaborate more on that?
So, one of the popular materials is aluminum. During World War II, aluminum production capacity reached at its peak level. As the war ended, there was a lot of material available and it found its way to doors and windows. It became popular because it was lightweight and with very high strength to weight ratio. In India, it first gained grounds on commercial building, then into homes. uPVC arrived later, but when uPVC arrived, it arrived in the form of system windows, and then aluminum also followed the suit.
It's wonderful how there are different alternatives available now. As a homeowner, how should I choose between the two?
So, aluminum is popular for its large span, contemporary look, and high rise application. uPVC is thermally efficient. Apart from that, there are many other things like climate, location, aesthetic preference, budget, all influence the choice. A good window consultant should evaluate all these along with the right selection of glass for right solution before recommending.
Now that we have brought glass into the conversation, what kind of advancements have we seen specifically in glass technology?
Glass has come a long way from single glass to double glass, advancement in processing technology, lamination, toughening, advancement in coating technology, low E, solar control, each specific variant serving a specific purpose. So high performance glass performed by either retaining or reflecting the heat, taking off energy efficiency. IGU or insulated glass unit performs by use of inert gas and slows down the heat transfer. Lamination cuts down UV transmittance. So by use of right glass, a large window can perform beautifully on all performance parameters in Indian condition.
It's interesting to note how many advancements have taken place in glass technology. Now, from a manufacturing standpoint, how has the industry adapted to meet the rising expectations?
Industry had to rethink everything from design to materials to fabrication to installation. And that's where we saw the rise of engineered system. Industry also invested in testing standards to back up their performance claim on air tightness, water tightness, wind resistance, sound insulation, energy efficiency. And that's where the move started happening from fragmented, unorganized fabricators to branded system-driven solution.
All right. And finally, what's your message to homeowners who are still debating between tradition and innovation in their window choices?
While wood has its own charm, this is the time to move towards efficient and sustainable solutions. Think long term. Less maintenance, better energy efficiency, modern aesthetic, higher value. Energy efficient homes are in demand. The initial investment in system doors and window may be a little higher, but the benefit far outweighs the cost over time. My message is simple. Explore your option. Windows today can do so much more than you think.
That's a perfect note to wrap up on. And with that strong message, we close this episode of The Glass Blueprint. From changing needs and materials to evolving lifestyles and design trends, it's clear that Windows is much more than just an opening in the wall. It's a statement of how we live. A big thank you to Mr. Naveen Karki for sharing his valuable insights and expertise on the fascinating journey of Windows, from its elegance and charm to smart, high-functional design.
Thank you, Khushi, for having me here today.
For our viewers, I hope this episode was equally insightful for you. We will see you again in the next episode. Until then, stay curious, stay informed.